And now for our feature story of the day, fam. BlackRock prepares for a 35 trillion Fed crisis. In fact, they even just released a Bitcoin white paper the other day, extremely bullish. I'm going to be reading some of the highlights of this report for you. We'll also be discussing a $600,000 bullish Bitcoin price target, and then we'll dive into our live Q&A. Welcome everyone joining the stream. You can see the headline here. BlackRock prepares 35 trillion Fed crisis, predicting a Bitcoin price boom shakalaka. And as Eric Balchunas, ETF analyst, shared here, BlackRock just put out a 9-page white paper that makes the case for Bitcoin ETF as a unique diversifier that can hedge against the fiscal, monetary, and geopolitical risks. Also include a section called the Bitcoin Path to a 1 trillion market cap. Read the whole thing, and I mean, this is what it looks like. We can kind of go through it, but I'm going to be giving you some of the highlights. Also, check the show notes below the video in the description. I also linked the resources of what I'm using on the show. Another headline from earlier in the year, BlackRock's global allocation fund iSpot Bitcoin ETFs expects institutional uptake to drive the Bitcoin price to 600 G's. Baby, you feel me? So here we go. And employee of the month, I'm going to give it to Larry Fink and Michael Saylor. Thank you, guys. It feels good to front run the two of you, and thank you for doing a fantastic job. It was a historic week as the U.S. Fed cut interest rates for the first time since 2020. They cut it 0.5 point, and that's obviously very bullish for risk on assets, ending its longest streak of rate hikes in a decade. While some say the move will improve the country's well-being, BlackRock revealed it anticipates a crisis for the U.S. debt spirals, and Bitcoin could be the safe haven. No, Bitcoin is thyself safe haven, yo. BlackRock revealed in a recent paper to investors that the rising debt is creating growing concerns with investors. You got planning to do, Lucy. The paper, titled Bitcoin, a Unique Diversifier, and authored by Chief Investment Officer Samara Cohen and two of her colleagues, proposed the BITI as one of the most viable alternative investments. And this is quoting BlackRock's actual report. The growing concerns in the United States of America and abroad over the state of the U.S. federal deficits and debt has increased the appeal of potential alternative reserve assets as a potential hedge against possible future events affecting the U.S. dollar. So with the entry of the likes of the BlackRock and Fidelity into the Bitcoin sector through their spot Bitcoin ETF, the top token, the one and only King Crypto, the undisputed champion of the world, has become more intertwined with traditional finance. This has resulted in questions on whether crypto is still a risk-off asset and a viable hedge against the other assets. It's all going to zero against the Bitcoin. BlackRock laid these concerns to rest, noting the following: Bitcoin's long-term correlation to equities and bonds have been low, and its long-term historical returns has been vastly higher than all the other major asset classes over extended time horizons. We believe Bitcoin's adoption drivers are likely to be distinct from, and in some cases inverted with, the global macro factors that drive most traditional financial assets. And now Bitcoin is a unique diversifier, hence the title of the report. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with 10 trillion in assets under management, higher than the GDPs of all but 2 countries globally, and that's only the United States of America and China. That makes this the most authoritative voice in the financial world. Some would say the most powerful organization in the world. And the importance of its backing of Bitcoin can't be overstated. It hasn't always been this way. CEO Lawrence Fink, go get your shine box, has called Bitcoin an index of money laundering in the past, before changing his mind and calling it the digital gold of this year. Kind of sounds similar to the old sentiment of Jamie Dimon.
Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers,
anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. But I digress. Thank you, Jamie Dimon. Quoting them again. As the global investment community grapples rising geopolitical tensions concerning the state of the U.S. debts and deficits, the increased political instability around the world, Bitcoin may be seen an increasingly unique diversified asset against some of these fiscal, monetary, and geopolitical risk factors investors may face elsewhere in their portfolios. So there you go, yo. And you already know Bitcoin bounced back. And with a 1 trillion, what is it? Today it's at a 1.2 trillion market cap. We have massive potential. I believe BlackRock recommended a 84.9% Bitcoin allocation in one of their reports a couple of years back. I've covered this on the podcast numerous times, and you run the math. If asset managers were to go from 1% allocation to a whopping 84.9%, game on, like Donkey Kong. You feel me? Things are about to get lit. So you already know. Welcome, family, and anyone just joining the stream. This is the Q&A segment of the live pod. Let me know your thoughts. 35.5 trillion in national debt grows 1 trillion every 100 days. Damn, you cannot debase or ever repay that. There you go.